why you choose business incubator out of all as as a platform for these early startup companies to succeed in their business. What make you choose business incubator by relating it to the local context? Local here, I'm referring not only Malaysia, but also in Sabah lah, since we are in Sabah. But of course, this research is not going to be used only for the Sabah context, but for the national context as well as as the reference for global communities. So my question, I rephrase again, my question is, why in the first place you choose these business incubators? Yeah, Hidayat.
The failure rate among the early startup is high, so the business incubator can help them to survive. And then actually government already provide the business incubator services. However, not a lot of people that want to venture into the business know the existing of this business incubator. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay to me, Hidayat. I'm glad that you mentioned the government. In fact, your research is on the Malaysian context, because you see, I personally coming from that practical experience lah. In 1999, I was in Setcovest. And I happened to be appointed as the manager for incubator scheme under Setco, yeah, in 1999, in which in the present day, if you know the Citytel Hotel at Asia City, yeah, it was before building belongs to Setco, and it only had 4 floors. When Setco sold it to the Citytel, they developed it into the hotel. This is, you can see this in the Asia City lah. So what happened? I was about to be appointed as the manager for that incubator scheme at that time, but I moved to another career. Yeah. So basically, when we discuss about incubator scheme, especially in your research about Malaysia context, you should include as many, not as many, maybe 1 or 2 example. For example, when we talk about entrepreneurs, when we talk about incubator, we cannot not to discuss about MARA. About permodalan nasional berhad, and in the local context is about Setco, for example, Setco West. So this is one thing that I think if you can include in your background of study, it will be interesting. Okay, because in your background of studies, I did not really see the Malaysian context part. Yeah, most of the LR that you take from chapter 2 is about the international one. And so when we start with chapter 1 and you are using Malaysian context, my expectation as the practitioner, once upon a time, I want to see that the success story from 1999, for example, the year I left Setco West, 1999, until the current days. What actually happened to this incubator scheme? It was very popular, very famous during early 90s, late 90s. So this is one thing in your chapter 1. Will be nice if you can include this scenario a bit, because for practitioner Hidayat, they expect to hear like MARA. In last time we have Ministry of Entrepreneurs. The first minister is Datuk Mustafa Muhammad, for example. So you need to go a little bit in depth on that background of the context of incubator scheme in Malaysia. I saw you include MSc and so on, but MSc and so on is more on the latter part actually. But the real practitioners during that time, when we talk about incubator scheme, we cannot. We must talk about MARA, for example, yeah. But that is not the only agency lah. but it's very near to the heart of the people, especially those business entrepreneur. I'm suggesting, Hidayah, I'm suggesting in order for your background look more interesting, more practical,